We end where Jewish mysticism, in a sense, begins, with a man asleep on the ground with a stone for a pillow. Jacob, fleeing his brother, dreams of a ladder, set up on earth and its top reaching heaven, and angels of God ascending and descending on it. Every mystical tradition in the world has a ladder image, and almost all of them use it in the same way, as an escape route. Climb, ascend, leave the lower world behind. In this last episode, I want to show you what the Jewish mystics did with their ladder instead, because it is the exact opposite, and it is the summation of everything these 8 episodes have tried to say. Look at the details the text insists on. The ladder is a mutzav arza, planted in the earth, not descending from heaven to visit, standing on the ground, load bearing at the bottom. And the angels, read the order, are ascending and descending. Ascending first. The commentators noticed this is not heavenly traffic coming down to earth on excursion. The movement starts from below. And when Jacob wakes, he does not say, I must get up there. He says, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. This place, the rocky campsite, the gate, it turns out, was at ground level the whole time, and he had been sleeping on it. This is Kabbalah's actual teaching about where holiness lives, and now, at the end of the series, you have the equipment to see how consistently we have met it. Every single concept we studied had the same architecture, the same downward arrow. The infinite creates Tzimtzum, descending into self-limitation, so that ordinary things can exist. And the ordinary act of making room for another person is the human copy of the divine original. The Sephirot pour downward, level by level, and the diagram's entire purpose is Malchut, the bottom rung, your actual lived existence, which the tradition then crowns with the name Shekhinah, the divine presence itself. The vessels break downward, and the sparks fall in the low places, your kitchen, your office, your rubble, precisely so that repair must happen there by you. The Hasidic masters have a phrase for this that I have saved for our last evening because it is the entire series in a couple of words. Dirah batachtonim. The Midrash teaches that when God created the world, he desired a dwelling in the lower realms, not a vacation home, a dwelling. The infrastructure of all reality on this teaching was built because the infinite wanted to live in the finite, in matter, in bodies, which means the entire cosmic account we have studied, the contraction, the emanations, the shattering, the sparks, is the story of a homecoming in progress. And it means the question Kabbalah finally asks of you is not the question you feared when the language was abstract. It is not, can you ascend to the mysteries? It is, will you make your ordinary life habitable for the divine presence that has been trying to move in? So let me do what this series has done each week one last time. What does a person actually do with 8 episodes of Kabbalah at eye level? I will give you the complete answer, and its completeness is the point. You already have it. Make room in one conversation a day. That is Tzimtzum practiced. Name your inner weather once a day. Chesed or Gevurah, holding or yielding. That is the Sephirot used. Pick up one shard from your own rubble a week. That is Tikkun performed. Feed the floor of the soul that is actually hungry. That is the 5 levels of the soul applied. Aim one act a day completely. That is Kavanah alive. Build one wall of the palace each Friday. That is the bride or Shabbat received. 6 practices, none longer than minutes, none requiring a single Aramaic word. That is not Kabbalah watered down. According to the Baal Shem Tov's whole revolution, that is Kabbalah, arrived. The light finally poured into vessels your size, which is what vessels are for. I'd like to make two more points. Firstly, what you have received here is a doorway, not a diploma. Behind everything we have taught stands an ocean, the Zohar, the Ari's system, the Tanya, Rav Kook, and depth belongs to those who study slowly, with teachers, inside a practiced Jewish life. The tradition's old cautions about ungrounded flight remain wise, and the bookshop shortcuts remain shortcuts. If this series has lit anything in you, feed it properly. Find a class, a chavrusa, a community. Second, do not let the mystic's grandeur become a new way to feel insufficient. You will forget to make room. You will drive to work asleep. Your Friday nights will sometimes collapse into pizza and exhaustion. The Kabbalists, of all people, built their entire cosmology around the fact that vessels break and taught that the mended vessel holds more light than the whole one ever did. This tradition has no interest in your perfection, it is interested in your return, which conveniently is available weekly. I want to leave you with the image that I've been saving. When the temple stood, the holiest object in the world was the ark. Above it, the golden cherubs. And the voice, says the Torah, spoke from the empty space between them, not from the gold, from the between. The mystics heard in that a final teaching. The presence lives in the spaces between two people making room for each other, between the act and the aim, between Friday's candles and Saturday's stars, between the broken pieces and the hands picking them up. You have been standing in those spaces all your life. All that was ever missing was the news that they are holy. Jacob woke from his dream and said, "Surely God was in this place and I did not know it." One sentence, and it is the whole of Kabbalah at eye level. The place was never the problem. The knowing is the work. I sincerely hope you enjoyed this series and thank you very much for listening.